Startup visa is one of the fewest and lowest requirements in terms of eligibility amongst all the Canadian business immigration programs. No education or work experience mandatory, although highly advisable for approval purposes. But what about the actual requirements to submit to the designated organization before you're endorsed for IRCC, and then afterwards to IRCC when you start your actual PR and work permit application? What are the actual requirements? This is what we'll be reviewing today in this very short video. The raw truth and nothing but the truth. Hello, my name is Reza and I work with the Ingwe immigration team here in Canada, helping applicants move. Whether it's for yourself, your kids, your startup, or your existing business, for all of the above, we do make it happen. Are you tired of immigration companies pushing one specific program down your throat without properly explaining everything to you in advance or providing you options based on your unique profile? Well, instead of them deciding for you, when working with our office, you're in control of your own destiny. The final decision is up to you, not us. Let me make this clear, I'm not an actual full-time YouTuber, although some of you may think so, but I work hands-on with our licensed team, working on actual applications and communicating with immigration departments and overseas embassies on a daily basis on behalf of our clients. These videos are made for the purpose of sharing our hands-on immigration knowledge with our worldwide audience. And of course, if you're thinking about immigrating to Canada, we're here to help. Get a free email assessment for eligible applicants by filling out the form below this video, or reach out to us directly if you are yourself an immigration practitioner. We're going to cover the following stages of the startup visa requirements in this short video. Pre-admission, pre-letter of support, post-letter of support for your PR, and a preview of your startup visa work permit requirements. Let's start with the first stage, pre-admission. Most designated organizations typically require the following before they even consider admitting you to their program for endorsement. And remember, you do need the letter of support or endorsement from a designated organization that's listed on the IRCC website in order to proceed to the next step. So that's the first requirement. What are they looking for? Well, they need the resumes of all the co-founders, the most updated one. A pitch deck, which basically means presenting your startup concept, why it's innovative and why it would succeed. And then a business plan. It doesn't have to be very elaborate or the final version, but a draft business plan is typically required by a designated organization. The second stage, pre-letter of support. This is the stage before your designated organization issues you your final letter of support. So you would be graduating from the cohort, accelerator program, or just their due diligence process. Here's the requirements. Proof of IRCC minimum settlement funds. In some cases, even investment funds to prove you can run the business inside of Canada if you don't have external investors yet. Second point is proof of language exam score. So most people know you need a Canadian language benchmark of 5, either in English or French, to be eligible for startup visa. You will need a police clearance certificate, which may sometimes be requested by some designated organizations, because what designated organizations don't like is if they get a lot of refusals based on basic eligibility criteria such as minimum settlement funds, language, and criminal clearance reports. The last point is the business registration documents for the Canadian entity, including shareholder agreements, which basically means they want to know you registered your business in Canada and everyone as co-founders has the shares that are required, which is minimum 10%, plus the group as a whole who's immigrating as part of the startup visa group will need to control more than 50% of the business. Some designated organizations are requesting this, some may not. Let's look at the third stage, post letter of support. When submitting the PR application for co-founders as per the IRCC requirements for your actual immigration process. Remember, it has to be within 6 months after the original letter of support has been issued. The following supporting documents are required in order for your PR application to be processed by IRCC, even if they're not included in the official IRCC checklist. final letter of support from your designated organization. Second, proof of funds for all of your co-founders. Again, this should be minimum settlement funds as per the IRCC published rates as a bare minimum. In some cases, we also ask our co-founders to include assets, proof of assets, to show that they do have financial backing, and this is optional. The next point is police clearance certificate for all co-founders, spouses and partners, and any dependent children over the age of 18. Proof of language exam scores such as IELTS, CELPIP, TEF, or TCF, English or French, and this should have been taken in the last 24 months before the date of your application to IRCC. Work experience documents for co-founders. Although this is not a mandatory requirement for this program, we highly recommend this to increase your chances of approval, proving that you did own and were operating your own business or businesses. Please also include your updated resume as well in your application package to IRCC. The next point is education documents for all co-founders. Again, this is not a mandatory requirement for this specific programs. If the co-founders do have education, we always include it, and it does not hurt your application, but rather reinforces the application. The next document is the upfront medical exam by a panel physician. This is not required at this stage, but we always ask our clients to complete it if the co-founders don't know each other very closely. The purpose is to make sure no co-founder hides their medical conditions from other co-founders. And if you're a non-essential member, then maybe it's not required at all to do an upfront medical. The next document is the business registration documents in Canada. Any shareholder agreements and other business documents proving what you have already completed for your startup. So besides the business registration, maybe you have customers, maybe you have a minimum viable product, maybe you have collaboration agreements or media exposure already. This is optional, not mandatory, but advisable if you do have something to show at this stage. And of course, don't forget all the mandatory IRCC application forms, such as the generic PR form, Schedule A, Schedule 13, your photos, and most important from their point of view is proof of payment for the IRCC PR application fees and biometrics according to the size and your family composition. Refer to the IRCC checklist for these required application forms and documents to be filled. And as you all know by now, the IRCC online portal has all this information available, and no physical paper application or PDF forms are required at this stage. Let's look at the fourth stage and the final stage of your startup visa journey, the work permit stage, which is completely optional. Also, it has its own requirements after you've received your letter of support. Keep in mind that you can only apply for your work permit within the validity of your letter of support, which is 6 months from the date of issuance. And it's only possible if you're marked as an essential member of this startup visa group. Otherwise, you would not be eligible for work permit. Here's the documents that are required. Literally everything I just mentioned in the previous part of the PR application to IRCC, in addition to the following documentations for this optional work permit. Copy of your latest business plan as approved by the designated organization. 2. Business registration documents. This is mandatory for the work permit application because you need to issue yourself a job offer, and the next step, apply for an employer compliance LMI exempt code and pay the $230 fee. Then you will issue yourself a job offer from your own company in Canada to apply for your work permit. All the required IRCC work permit application forms and proof of payments of the processing fees are of course required, so please make sure you check the IRCC website using the link that we're also publishing in the article, this same article that we're posting on our website. You should also include a detailed progress report of what you've completed so far as a startup, a detailed roadmap of activities you plan to complete inside Canada if you're approved for a work permit, and an explanation letter addressing all the embassy's main concerns along with supporting documents for each item. We will cover this in another dedicated video in the coming weeks, as this is a whole other story and it's a very important one. I hope this quick summary helped get you started with your startup visa application plans. If you want to be notified on when we publish our next startup visa video, subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified. If you're thinking about immigrating, whether permanently or temporarily, you're at the right place. I can guarantee you only one point. You will know what to expect, the entire process clearly laid out for you, and all the risks identified, including costs. And if you're looking for discounts, look no further. I know of a great online website that offers discounts on millions of items every day, Amazon. But if you're looking for results in immigration, well, that's our expertise. No surprises, no promotions, just results. Our team speaks over 9 languages and we help applicants from over 49 different countries during their immigration process. And this list is growing every day. Click the link below this video and get a free email assessment for eligible applicants. And if you're ready to apply and would like a one-on-one session with me or any of my immigration team members at Inway, you can also book a session directly using the consultation link in the description of this video. And if you have questions, remember we're here weekly live, scheduled on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram every Thursday, 11 a.m. North American Eastern Standard Time, where we answer all of your immigration questions for free on the spot. So see you next Thursday.